Hi, yes. Sorry, I'm late. Yep, because when I got home, a lot of things were waiting for me, like my dog's poop, and he vomited, and yep, correct. So I took some extra time to clean up his poop and yep, pick up his vomit, clean it up before I can start the live. Yep. What? Ryuman's gonna bro teacher to scare the death out of me, like how is like being late for 4 minutes gonna scare you to death? If that's the case, then I'll be able to put a lot of people to sleep. Okay, hold on. Just do something first. Well, you'll just hang on for a while. Let's just hold on for a while for people to join. Hi, silly vanilli. Okay, hi Livia. Sorry, just give me a while. We will hang on, let people join first. Today we're gonna go through some revision on cycle and system. Right then after that, I think in the following week we're gonna start off with. Let me think. Electricity. Yes. Then we're gonna go through electricity. I think electricity will be quite fun. Hi, yes, you're 100% teacher Jody. You're 100% or 99%, I don't know. Okay, oops. Forgot to on my charger. Okay, can y'all hear me clearly? I just want to make sure y'all can hear me clearly. If y'all can, I suppose since nobody complained, then I think y'all can hear me clearly, right? Okay, okay. Apologies for being late again. Yeah, because when I come home, then just now as I was saying, I realized because yesterday my dog was having a diarrhea, right? So and today the whole day I was out, and he kind of like he's having diarrhea all over the place. Today there's no Kahoot, if I'm not wrong. No Kahoot, unfortunately. I think my Kahoot will be a few weeks later. Okay. Okay. Hold on. Let me turn on my TikTok so I can see myself and make sure that my screen is okay. Hi everyone. Hi Elisa. Right. So as usual, today we're gonna go through some P5 science. Just some simple revision on cycle and system. Right. Today is the last week of the holiday. Hopefully you enjoyed the holiday. Had lots of fun, travel around. Those who are taking PSLE, I think this is probably your last break. Hi, Capybara. I heard yesterday you said you're gonna send in some people to my live and spam me. Hope you are wrong about the Kahulawi. What is Kahulawi? Hi, Yemiko. Hi, Capybara. Oh, crashed out. Okay, it's fine. Okay. All right, let's maybe get started. All right, with one MCQ. Okay, then I slowly get into the lesson. Okay, because now the light is kind of like on to me. Okay. Yes, I can, Jacinta. Thanks for reminding me. Let's get started with the first MCQ. Okay, again, today we're gonna do some P5 topic revision, right? We're gonna do some revision on cycle and systems. I think by now you all should have, I think after holiday, right? For those who are in P5, you all will get started with system by right lah. But I'm sure some of you have already done system, and then some of you are gonna do cycle, okay, instead. Okay, so question number 1. Diagram below shows the movement of substance X and Y in the human body. Okay, so your job is obviously to find out what is substance X and Y, right? Okay, I don't know what is substance X and Y, but I can see that it starts from the respiratory system, right? Respiratory system, so my guess is substance X is probably like oxygen, and substance Y is probably carbon dioxide. Okay, so once you have a good guess, okay, substance X, then oxygen will travel here, travel to the digestive system, and travel to all the other parts of the body. Okay, let me highlight it first. Okay, so this is probably blood, right? That is, okay, hopefully you'll still remember blood that is rich in oxygen. Okay, I'm going to write the short form. And for the other substance Y, okay, because it's returning to the respiratory system, right? Probably the lungs. Then this, okay, substance Y, okay, I don't have enough space. Okay, I'm going to point it here. It's probably blood that is rich in carbon dioxide, right? So once you have a good idea, then you can run through the options, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Substance X is oxygen. Digested food is, I don't think it's digested food, right? Because digested food can't be running to your respiratory system. Okay, then digested food probably is also not the one that's going to come out from your respiratory system, right? Teacher, are you sick or were you crying because of the diarrhea on the floor? I wasn't crying. I was like trying to clear up. I mean, crying is not going to clear up the diarrhea on the floor. Because, yes, because like I'm sweating. Like I rush here and then the weather is so hot. Yep. Okay, so blood that is rich in carbon dioxide, where was I? Oh yeah, digested food can't be going to your respiratory system and can't be going out from your respiratory system. Yes, John, I think you are correct. I think most of you already got the answer, right? So, and it can't be carbon dioxide and oxygen, right? So instead, it is the other way around. It's got to be oxygen that comes out from your respiratory system. Okay, because we will breathe in oxygen, right? So oxygen will go in, and then it will circulate through your whole body, and then after that, okay, carbon dioxide will go out. All right. So it's definitely number 4. I think a lot of y'all already realized it, right? Can you all see the answer? No. Okay, let me scroll up a bit. Okay, any question about this? Okay, respiratory system, circulatory system. I think we went through this a few weeks back. Hopefully you are already very good at it because respiratory system, circulatory system is not too difficult. I think it is a topic that you should be good at and help you score a few marks, right, during your test. Okay, let's see. Okay, I guess not much question. Any one went to any country like that is pretty interesting other than the usual Japan, Korea, Malaysia, Thailand, Indonesia. NYI Clown today there's no Kahoot. Yep. I'm not sure this week who is supposed to do the Kahoot, but I don't think it is me. Let me see. Okay, I don't know where to check for the Kahoot. Okay. Hong Kong and China. I mean, like nowadays, a lot of people are going to China also. Yeah, I think China is a great place. I just went to China like for the first time this year also. I think that place is absolutely good, except for there's only one thing that I hate, that is people can smoke everywhere and anywhere, right? So even when I was eating my meal, there were like people smoking a few tables across. So that kind of like was not such a good experience for me, because I'm a bit sensitive to the smoke. Okay, let me see. Oh no, not this week. The Kahoot. Where is week 32? This week is P5 Maths. So remember to join the P5 Maths. Okay. My Kahoot will be, I think, in week 38. Okay. Squatting, I'm okay with squatting toilet because I grew up with squatting toilet. I don't grew up with sitting toilet. So actually, the squatting toilet brings back some very fond memories of mine. What week now, teacher? We are in week 32. Okay, any question? If no question, I better move on before someone scold me again for being slow. Capybara, 6 more weeks to what? Okay, hold, sorry, give me a while. I turn down my fan first. Six more weeks disturbing the peace. What? Okay, me and the table. Okay. Okay, looks like no question. Then let us move on to question 2. Right, diagram shows a plant. Okay, diagram below shows a plant. So by now, you all should be pretty familiar with all the different parts of the plant, right? So parts such as T, which is labeled, is the stem. Okay, and then soil. Okay, you all should know the roots. Okay, we can also see the leaf, right? Leaf, and then we can see that there is the fruit over here. Okay, what else do we see? Any flower? I think, okay, if I'm not wrong, this looks like the flower. Okay, so the question is asking you based on the diagram. Based on the diagram, which of the following shows the correct direction of the movement of food and water at part T? Okay, so over here at part T, right, what is the movement of food and water? So water will definitely move from the roots, okay, upwards, right? So water will definitely move upwards, and then food will move from the leaf, right, downwards. Okay, that one is not the leaf. Okay, so food will be moving downwards. Let me see. Oh, actually for food upwards is also possible because there's also the leaf over here which can transport food, okay, upwards. All right. So this one, be careful for the food. It can be, it's not just only downwards, okay, not upwards also. It's both upwards and downwards. But as for water, water is definitely upwards only, right? So water will be upwards only, upwards only. Right, and so if this is correct, this is correct. Okay, so very good. Just now I saw someone, yes, okay, John, Vanilli, and there's one more. Who is the one? Miko. Okay, I'm gonna call you Miko. Also, no, do you teach any other subjects other than science? I in AGrader I only teach science. A few years ago I used to teach the online mathematics, but I no longer do that. Okay, I can teach you how to fail your English. I can teach you how to fail your Chinese also. If I were to teach English and Chinese, but yeah, that's why fortunately I don't teach those two. Okay, that's why if you want to learn English, better learn from teacher Alvin and teacher Lian, right? And if you want to learn mathematics, I think it's better that you learn from teacher Felicia and teacher Angeline, right? Can I learn English? Okay, better don't learn English from me. Okay, I still can teach you how to do good in your science, okay? So you teach only science now? Yes, in AGrader, I only teach science. Yes, I like science because science is a bit more creative, a bit more interesting, okay, compared to other subject. I can use a bit more of my creativity, all right? Okay, let's finish up this question. I just realized I haven't finish up this question, okay? So the answer is number 3. May I teach you how to mystic flower? What is mystic flower? Mystic flower. Can introduce yourself? Sure. Hi everyone. My name is Teacher KH. I teach science in AGrader, and I'm actually a part of the AGrader science curriculum team. So that's why during the holiday program, most of the time, if it is an online lesson, you will either see me or Teacher Jody, right? So hi John. So for the A-Grader Science curriculum team is basically me and teacher Jody, right? So all the worksheet and all the material that you see in A-Grader is mostly done by us. Hi, New Jeans for Life. Oh, New Jeans haven't been active for a while, yep, because of the lawsuit. Okay, anyway, yep, okay, you better continue to the next question, right? Capybara, you're new, you're like the oldest member over here, right? Always around. Okay, hopefully you are enjoying the holiday, right? Last week of the holiday. It's always good to have holiday. For us, like adults, working adults, we don't really have holiday. We can take leave, but yeah, okay, still not enough. The rest is never enough. Okay, anyway, come, let's move on to question 3. Okay, diagram below shows some characteristics of a family of rabbits. Okay, I don't know how many of you kept rabbits as pets. I heard they are not very easy to keep rabbits. Okay, so there's a father rabbit and a mother rabbit, right? Okay, brown fur, black eyes, long ears. White fur, red eyes, and small ears. Okay, so it looks like they have very distinctive characteristics, right? And then I suppose they have 4 young rabbit ABCD. Okay, also a lot of different characteristics, but I don't want to go through the detail first. I want to go through the question over here first. Based on the information given, which young inherited all the characteristics only from one parent? Okay, so this one will be not too difficult, right, to find. Okay, so for the father, I'm going to highlight blue. For the mother, I'm going to highlight orange. Okay, so brown. Okay, brown, right. Okay, brown fur, red eye belongs to the mother. Small, okay, white, black, okay, red, small. Wait, I think I already found my answer, B, right? Okay, because B kind of like white fur, red eyes, small ears, all from mother. Okay, white fur, and then small ears are from mother, and then the rest are from father, right? Black eyes, long ears, brown fur, and small eyes. Okay, yes, silly vanilla, yes, I think it's definitely 2, right? Because once I highlight and then you can see it clearly. Okay, there's only a rabbit B, which is from the mother, right? So clearly all the characteristics are from mother. So you would want to choose number 2, right? Which is B. Okay, this question is under heredity, right? So you inherit certain characteristics from your parents, right? Hopefully you inherit all the good genes and good characteristics from both your parents, right? The best of both your parents. Okay. Other than the people who are spamming, I don't see any other messages. Wait, what? Silly vanilla, I eat rabbit. You eat rabbit? Oh, but have you tried I don't know, yeah, like frog meat? I think frog meat is pretty nice. Okay, the frog porridge, right? Okay, no question. Do you like rabbit? I do like rabbit, but like as an animal, but not so much of taking care of it. Sorry, there's an airplane flying by. Okay, the airplane is gone. Yep. So if you hear the airplane sound, then maybe you're also staying in the same area as me. Okay, I do like rabbit. Generally, I like animals. The answer is watcher. Okay, wait, what do you mean? The answer for question 3, okay, is option 2, right? Oh, octopus. Today there's no Kahoot. It's 今天, not 星天. 星天 means new day. New day have Kahoot. I think you need to work on your pinging. Okay, no question. Let's move on to the OAQ, right? Today I think it's gonna be quite easy, quite chill. So I'm gonna talk a bit, do a bit of question. Hopefully we will be able to find out something new today or learn something new today, or maybe you can share some interesting experience with me also. All right. Okay, let's move on to question 4. A diagram below shows another seed that is dispersed by two methods. Okay, so you can see this fruit over here. I hope you realize that yes, Miko, the first thing you notice is splitting. Yep, supernova splitting and wind. Yes. Okay, but there's a few characteristics that you need to see. Right, number one is I'm not so sure if you all can see. Okay, I'm gonna highlight this purple line. Okay, this one is called the line of weakness. Line of weakness, right? So usually the fruit will split along that line. Teacher, why last time it was 3 hours, not only 1 hour? Last time 3 hours is because 3 teachers will do back to back, right? So we realized that there really isn't a lot of changes. In fact, there's kind of like lesser people watching if we do 3 hours back to back. So now we change back to 1 hour, and there's actually like slightly more people watching. Okay, so if you look at this fruit over here, I'm not so sure if you notice, but I hope you can see the wing-like structure. Okay, number one, and then number two is also you can see that they are very tiny. Okay, so typically if it is tiny, it should be very lightweight, high reefers. Okay, and with the wing-like structure, it will help them to stay afloat in the air for a longer time, right? So they can be dispersed further away. All right. So if the question asks you about the two methods, okay, state the two methods of dispersal for the seed. I think just now supernova and someone else already got it correct. Okay, I think it was supernova who got both the method correct. Okay, so the first method is by splitting. Okay, and then the other method is by wind. Okay, it's capybara. Explosive action is also fine. Explosive and splitting. I mean, explosive slash splitting and by wind, right? You can teach me more. I mean, I don't know how I don't know how much more you want to learn. Okay, I definitely can teach you more, but the problem is I'm limited by what I need to deliver, right? So I need to deliver this lesson first. Okay, I can hear the airplane coming again, so let me read through the next part. All right, part B. Okay, describe the structures of the fruit and seed which enable the plant to... Okay, I think I'm gonna mute first. Okay, finally, the airplane is gone. Okay, so you can talk about the usually, right, if there is a line of weakness, okay, it will also be hard and dry. Okay, so it will also be hard and dry so that it will split open with a force, right? Then it can be dispersed by splitting. But that noise is the airplane. There's an airplane flying past by my like at the place where I'm staying. Okay, it's not me for sure. I'm not flying in an airplane. Okay, so you can talk about the hard and dry pots, okay, with line of weakness. Okay, this is something that I've already written over here. That is the first characteristics. Okay, the second characteristics will be the wing-like structure. Okay, and you can say it is tiny and light. Okay, tiny and light is usually one of the characteristics of fruit or seeds that are dispersed by wind. Okay, no question. Any question? No question. Then we quickly write down the answer for part B. If I can't be on a plane teaching. Okay, the pots are hard, okay, and dry, right? With, okay, line of weakness. Okay, for splitting, and then the other characteristics will be the seeds. This is for P5 Skyblade. All right, this is for P5. Okay, I mean, of course, you can also revise for P6 because P6 y'all will also be tested on whatever you learn in P5, right? Okay, then next talk about the seeds. Have, okay, wing-like structure. Okay, and okay, are tiny and light. All right, for wind dispersal. All right. Okay, let me see any question before I highlight. Okay, yeah, let's try. Can't see. Oh, okay, sorry. Let me scroll up a bit. You'll see the bottom, right? Okay, so the key words or the key structure that you need to talk about, right? You can say that it is hard and dry. Okay, and then you can also talk about the line of weakness for splitting. And then for the dispersal by wind, right? Talk about the seed having wing-like structure. Okay, you can say that they are tiny and lightweight for dispersal by wind. All right. Wait, I see a question. Is it possible to make 2 weeks TikTok live into 1 week? Wait, what do you mean by 2 weeks TikTok live into 1 week? Oh, that means like every week I have TikTok live. I don't know. It's quite tiring. Sure, do you play Roblox Rivals? I don't play Roblox. I don't really play game nowadays. I mean, when I was young, I used to play a lot of games, but now probably not much, not much time. And yep, I don't. I wish I have time to play game. What level is this? Yuna, this is P5 science, but of course, you can also do revision for P6 science if you are taking your PSLE. I think this is also a good chance for you to revise. Okay, I see. I don't see any question, so I'm gonna move on to the next question. Question 5. What do you do other than TikTok? Either what do you mean by what do I do other than TikTok live? I don't like always do TikTok live. This is just like a requirement. Okay, of course, other than TikTok live, I work. I still need to teach my physical lesson, and then I of course try to exercise because I'm getting old. I don't want to feel weak and sickly, so need to exercise. I try to rest. I try to sleep. I every day need to take my dog out for a walk. Yep, that's basically very boring life. Yep, that's how my life is. Okay, let's move on to question number 5. Right, Tricia wanted to carry out an experiment to find out if bees are attracted to flowers of different color. Okay, so are bees attracted to flowers of different colors? So she used 2 red flower P and Q. Okay, 2 red flower P and Q. She sprayed flower P with 5 ml of syrup. and Q with 10 ml of syrup. Okay, so this is gonna be the changed variable, right? So changed variable is over here. Okay, the flowers were left in the open garden for 5 hours, right? So left in the same location for, sorry, not 5 hours, 4 hours. So this is a constant variable. They look like very exact. The two flowers, P and Q, looks like they are exactly the same also, right? So, okay, they look identical as well. Okay, so the only thing that has changed is the amount of syrup, right? Okay, but her teacher told her that the experiment was not fair, right? Because it's a bit weird. Because if you want to find out if bees are attracted to flowers of different color, then shouldn't this be the changed variable, right? So you should change the color and not change the amount of syrup. So in this case, if the question wants you to state two changes that teacher should make to ensure a fair experiment, what are the two changes that you need to make? Number one is the mistake, right? Which is this change variable. So now we know this is the wrong. Okay, change variable. That means the first thing you need to correct is this. Make sure the syrup are the same. And then number two, then make sure you change the correct variable. Same amount of syrup and make sure the color are different. Maybe use your favorite color. I don't know what is your favorite color. Maybe you can put in the chat and tell me what is your favorite color. My favorite color used to be purple, but last time when I was young, but weirdly now it has changed to green. Blue, I think a lot of people like blue, very common. I think a lot of the girls will like pink. Okay, so let me write down this answer first. So what should Tricia do? Tricia should, okay, spray the same, okay, amount of syrup, okay, to both flowers, okay, and change, okay, one of the flower, okay, to another color. Oh, octopus, you also like green, like me. TYNG, you like orange, so you like the AGrader orange. Okay, I see like orange pink, okay, but not red. Oh no, I think my dog is going in to his toilet to have diarrhea again. Okay, anyway. Oh, Yuna, your dictionary is also at AGrader. Okay, that's good. I like gold color. Yes, gold is also a color that I like because gold is very expensive. Okay, so remember, typically this kind of question where they tell you an experiment that is not fair, okay, and to get a fair experiment, typically you need to make two changes, all right? So the two changes are, number one, you need to make sure that you spray the same amount of syrup, and number two, you need to change one of the flower to another color, all right? You are at AGrader, okay, user 8879. Okay, that's good. Which AGrader are you at? Okay, then question. Okay, let's move on to the next question, part B. Okay, how does spraying the syrup help with fertilization of the flower? Right, so then you need to, of course, think about what is the purpose of the syrup. What does it do? Okay, the syrup will probably help to attract pollinators, right? Okay, and then what do pollinators do, right? Pollinators, as the name suggests, helps the flower to pollinate. Okay, then once the flower pollinate, then you'll be able to go through fertilization. Okay, so spraying the syrup helps to attract pollinators so that the pollen grain can be transferred from the pollinator to the stigma and help to pollinate the flower, and then so that the flower can be fertilized. All right. Okay, let me write down the answer quickly for this. So the syrup, okay, attract pollinators, okay, to transfer, okay, pollen grains Admiralty. I used to teach at Admiralty. I mean, Yao Jun Hong. Yeah, I used to teach at Admiralty, but that was like last year. Okay. Okay, to transfer pollen grains to the stigma. Okay, and pollinate the flower for it, okay, to be fertilized. Okay, any question? Anyone down here play grow a garden? Grow a garden? What kind of game is that? I'm very bad at taking care of plants, so I think I'll be very bad at that game. Grow a garden. So what is the best way to learn science more efficiently? I mean, learning science is really a very natural thing because kids at your age should have the curiosity to find out about how things work. So it should be very easy and natural for you to learn science. But the problem is, kids are good at learning science, but kids are not good at scoring marks in science. That's where the problem is. So if you what you mean is you want to score well in your science subject, right? Then probably you need to learn all the answering techniques. Okay, what are the things to watch out for? Of course, you must know how to answer using keywords and so on. Okay, so those are usually the boring stuff that students or kids don't like. That's why people who don't do well in science typically is not because they are not interested in science. It's because they are not interested in all this answering technique, keyword, blah blah blah, and so on. All right. So yep, if you want to score well in your science, okay, just pay more attention on your keywords, okay, answering techniques, memorize a few answer, okay, and then you should be good, right? Then after that, refine your skills, refine your concept and answering technique, and then you should be good for a higher level. All right. Okay, I don't see any questions, so let me move on to question 6. A farmer removed the food carrying tubes of a plant at position R, S, and T. Okay, so wait, R, S, and T is where? So R is here, R, S, and T. Okay, food carrying tubes were removed, and so at the time when fruit P and Q appeared, okay, fruit P and Q, let me highlight P and Q. Both fruits were of the same size. Okay, both fruits were of the same size. Diagram below shows what the farmer observed after 3 weeks. Okay, I'm not sure if you can see, but I can, okay, let me change the color to purple. I can see that fruit P is smaller, right? Q is actually bigger. Okay, does anybody know why? How come at first they are of the same size, but 3 weeks later, then P became smaller and Q became bigger? Okay, I'm not so sure if you know, but let me just highlight. Okay, because fruit P, right, you can see that there are two cuts on top and below fruit P. So the only place that's making food and storing food in fruit P is this bunch of leaf here, correct? But whereas for fruit Q, you can see that this bunch of leaf is producing food, not fruit. This bunch of leaf is also producing food, right? So which can be stored in Q. So Q essentially has more leaves that are producing food and storing into it, right? That's why it is bigger. Okay, so if the question is asking you to explain why Q grew bigger than P, okay, then if you're able to see that, okay, there's more leaves that is attached to fruit Q, then you should be able to answer it, all right? Okay, let me write down the answer for this. There are more leaves between cuts S and T. Okay, then cuts R and S. Okay, then since very important to talk about the food carrying tube are removed. Okay, since the food carrying tubes are removed, then you can talk about the food that is produced by these leaves is stored in the fruit. Okay, so as a result, then Q will receive more food. Oh no, my pencil is dying. Okay, as a result, Q received more food from more leaves and grew bigger. Okay, so I hope you understand how to explain this question. Okay, the question, you just need to say that there are more leaves between the cuts of S and T when compared to the cuts of S, R and S. Then very important to talk about the food carrying tubes are removed. Since the food carrying tubes are removed, then the food produced by all these leaves will be stored in the fruit. As a result, right, then the fruit Q will be able to receive more food and it will grow bigger. Food and fruit. It's like a tongue twister. Any question before we move on? Let's see. Okay, yes, I'm waiting. Jonathan, yes, you're writing. Just I will wait for a while. Let's see. Yes, Apple Pencil is low 5% capybara. Thanks for reminding me. I'm charging it now. That's why I'm like talking, waiting while people are copying. Can someone please? Any other question? Let's see. What is a golden dragonfly? Okay, no question. Then I'm gonna slowly scroll to part B. Okay, part B is saying that the farmer then made a deeper cut at position T. Okay, a deeper cut at position T. Okay. Okay, so the farmer made a deeper cut at position T, removing the water carrying tubes. Okay, where is T? So T over here, right? There's a deeper cut, right? So the water carrying, okay, tube is also yes, Jacinta, have patience, my child. Okay, I'm trying to hurry up. Okay, so the water carrying tube, oh, I just realized you can't see it, sorry. Okay, if the water carrying tube is being cut at T, then actually this is not going to be good, right? Because the roots are here, then even if the roots were to take in water, okay, it's not going to be transported upwards, right? So probably, you should be guessing that the plant will die, all right? So she observed that all the leaves started to wilt. Yes, okay, probably, right? The leaves started to wilt after some time. Suggests a reason for this observation. So the reason is very simple, right? Because the water carrying tubes are removed, so the leaves will not receive any water, okay? And then they will start to wilt. Okay, you can see, okay, the leaves could not receive, okay, water from the roots, right? Okay, but remember to say as the water carrying tubes, okay, are removed, okay, at T, right? So a lot of students, they never say the water carrying tubes are removed, all right? So please make sure you say that. Okay, any question? No question? No question. I'm gonna move on to the next. You wrote, wait, Eden, what did I write wrong? The leaves could not receive water from the roots as the water carrying tubes are removed at T. Wait, which part is wrong? Because sometimes, actually I always write the wrong thing. That is then, wait, the leaves could not receive water from the roots as the water carrying tubes are removed at T. Wait, what are you talking about? I'm confused now. The T look like a 7. Oh, okay, it is a T, it's not a 7. Let me extend it. What else? Wait, Eden, what do you mean by that is then? Okay, oh, okay, I think you're talking about this, right? Okay, yep. So sometimes I do make mistakes. There are more leaves between cuts S and T than. Okay. Anything else? Okay, I think no other mistake, right? Okay, I think we should be able to live happily ever after. Okay, let's move on to question 7. Okay, question 7. Anwen conducted an experiment using the setup below to find out if the temperature of water affects the rate of water collection. Okay, so the temperature of water, hopefully in this case, will be the changed variable. Rate of water collection will be the measured variable, right? Okay, so using a heating rod, she gradually increased the temperature of the water until it reached 100 degrees Celsius. Okay, so 100 degrees Celsius is very hot. Okay, we can see the heating rod is over here. There's a power supply. Okay, good, everything is working well. After 15 minutes, some water was collected at the base of the cone. Okay, so after 15 minutes, you will expect to see some water over here collected, right? So water collected. I hope you all understand where the water came about. Okay, the water came about because the heater will heat up the water, right? And then after that, it will gain heat and it will start to evaporate. Okay, you can say that it will boil also, so it will evaporate. Okay, and then the hot water vapor will come into contact with the cooler. Okay, it will come into contact with the cooler plastic cone, and then it's gonna lose heat and condense, right? So the hot water vapor is gonna come into contact, lose heat, and let me annotate a bit. Okay, so it will lose heat and it will condense. Okay, and then all this water droplet is gonna drip down into the base and get collected at the base. All right, so this is a very standard water cycle question, right? Evaporate, gain heat, evaporate, and then come into contact with a cooler surface, lose heat, condense, and then water is gonna get collected. All right. So hopefully by now you are crystal clear about how to answer this kind of question, because we went through quite a bit of it, right, in the earlier weeks. Okay, so if for part A, they're asking you complete the graph below by drawing a line to show the relationship between the temperature of water and the amount of water collected at the base of the cone. Okay, so remember, as the temperature increase, right, the amount of water collected will definitely increase, but it doesn't start immediately from here, because it will take a while for the water to start collecting. All right, so draw your graph from maybe somewhere here, okay, upwards, right? Okay, I don't know how much is the water collected, but okay, never mind, I'm just going to draw a line here. All right, okay, so this question can be very tricky, because I think a lot of students will be very tempted to draw the line like this. All right, so you draw the line like this, that means you're saying that once the temperature increased to 1 degree Celsius, then you see water collected already. Okay, it's gonna take a while for the evaporation, condensation, and everything to take place. So give it some time over here before you can start to see water collected. Okay, part B is very standard, right? They ask you to explain how, okay, part B wants you to explain how water was collected at the base of the cone. So I'm just gonna write down the very standard answer for water collection. I'm gonna start off by saying that the tap water, okay, gain heat from the heating, okay, rod, and, right, remember to use the keyword of evaporated, okay, into water vapor. Okay, then the first part is done, right? Then the next part you can, I'm going to change the color. Okay, the hot, or you can say warm water, okay, vapor. Yes, John, I think this is the last question. Just nice. I'm left with only 4 minutes. The hot water vapor then rose and, okay, came into, or you can say touches, all right? Okay, came into contact, okay, with the cooler, right? It's better to use inner, okay, but if you don't write inner, I think it's still fine. Surface, okay, of the cone. Should I say plastic cone? Okay, I'm just gonna say plastic cone. Okay, of the plastic cone. Okay, then remember, lost heat and condense. Okay, into water, okay, droplets. Okay, then the last part just say that okay, lost heat and condense into water droplets. Okay, the water, I'm gonna change, use the third color. Okay, droplets will drip, okay, into the base and okay, gets okay, collected, okay, there. Okay, this question is a bit, the answer is a bit long, but hopefully by now you can see the three different stages when it comes to answering a question like this, right? Keywords such as gain, heat, and evaporate, right, into water vapor. And then after that, the hot water vapor, right, comes into contact with the cooler, okay, inner surface of the plastic cone. Okay, lost heat and condense into water droplets. Then finally, the water droplets are going to drip into the base and gets collected there. All right. Okay, any question about the questions that we gone through today? I think the questions that we've gone through today are the very standard question, not too difficult. Why so fast say bye bye? Okay, the plane is coming. Can I give you notes? I don't think I have notes to give you all. But I think if you go to the AGrader website, Elisa, I think there are some notes that you can download if I'm not wrong. You can download this worksheet and try on your own, right? This is a free worksheet for you all. So why is there no? Oh, because just now the airplane fly by again. Turn. Okay. I believe you all should be done. And if you are done, right? So hold on, let me just run some ad. Yes. Okay. So if you are interested in attending some online lesson, right, especially for your PSLE, or if you this year you're at P5, you want to, oh yeah, if you want to attend some P5 online lesson, come to my lesson, right? Because I'm the one that's teaching the online lesson every Friday, right? At least come for the trial lesson, say hi to me, right? You came from the TikTok, or if not, then it's also fine. Okay, you can always join us in TikTok. Okay, of course, the other teachers that you see every week who are hosting the TikTok live are also the ones that's going to be teaching the online lesson. Okay, so if you like I don't know, teacher Jodie's lesson, then you can join her P6 lesson. Okay, if you like teachers, teacher Felicia, teacher Elvin, teacher Lian's lesson, you can also try and join their lesson for a trial lesson. All right. Okay, so if no question, then I believe this is goodbye. And I will see you in 2 weeks' time. All right. Enjoy the rest of your holiday and have fun, right? Hopefully, you all look forward to seeing your friends again. Okay. Bye bye.